Hey guys, how's it going? It's Vikram Singh. Welcome back to my Python series of basics. And in this tutorial, I'm going to talk about Python's collection data type. So collection means when we are assigning a collection of values to a variable. And these collection data types are list, tuple, set, dictionary. And in this lecture, I'll work on list, tuple, set. And in this tutorial you found me most of the time I'm talking about list because it has much more functionality, methods compared to two other data type. This video is gonna be a bit longer, so I'm gonna put an outline in the comment section, check that, and let's write on the code block.
Okay, so list is basically a sequence of mutable Python object. Means the element of list are changeable. So the element inside a list can be changed from one value to another value. So let's create our first list. For that, let's create a variable called list1. For list, we have to remember these square bracket because whichever element we want in our list, we'll put them within these square bracket. As there is no element inside this list, so it's an empty list. And there is one more way we can create an empty list. We say list2 equals to list, and both of these lists are empty. So let's print out each one of them. Run. So both the lists are empty, there is no element inside the list. So let's comment them out, just highlight all the portion and Alt F3. Now let's create a list which contain mostly integers. So call list1 and equivalent to most of the integer value we'll put in this list, and let's print this list. Right. Most of the values of this list are integer. So list is not only restricted to one particular data type. It contains integer, string, float, and that kind of list is called as a mixed data type list. So let's create that kind of list. Remove and say list2 equals to so it's a list of mixed data type. So let's print this list. So it prints a list this. So most of the element of this list are different, not of particular single data type. Now we do what if we have a huge list? That time we want to know what is the length of list. As you see right now over here that this list contains 4 elements. So in case if we have a huge list, that time it's really typical to count down the whole elements of the list. So for that we have one function called len length function. Find the length of this list too. Say print and len, and we want the length of list 2. Enter. So it shows that the length of list 2 is 4, means that 4 elements are present in this list. Now let's access the element of list, means that we will access which element is present at which position. For that we say print list2 and say square bracket, and within these square bracket put a number which is known as the index, and indexing always begins from 0, ends to length of list minus 1. So we say we want to element at 0th index, and let's print it. So the element at 0th index is hello. So similarly we create another one. We say we want element at 3rd index. So enter. So it says the element at 3rd index is C. Now in case if we want to access a range of element, range list 2. So we want a range from 0 till the 3, and the colon operator is act as a slicing operator. So close it and enter. So this is inclusive of the input but exclusive at the output. Let's print it and see what it really means. So let's print. So let's run this, and print is that 0th element is hello and the 3rd element is not printed in this list, as the 3rd element is 6 only. So it shows that this list is gonna include what the input element is included in our list but not include the output element. So if you want different one like print list2, and we want every element after 0 and including the 0. So say 0 and we don't put any element, because if we put it, it will be excluded. So let's print it directly, and it's gonna include every element from 0 till the last. See, so let's try to change the element of list, as this is a definition of list that the element of list are changeable. So let's say we want list 2 and we change this first element of this list like 0th, and we want it equal to say hi instead of hello. So let's print the list 2 and see over right now the hello element is changed from hello to hi. So this way we can change the element if you want to add a particular element or a bunch of element in our list. For that we have 3 methods available, and these one are append, insert, and extend. So let's try out each one of them. So first we try append. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna say list2 dot append. We append say an integer in this list, and let's print the list now. So it says that the new element is appended, which is 8. So let me comment out the earlier one. Now let's print this again. So as earlier you see our list is this, now the 8 is appended in our list, so this is a new element. But one thing you guys notice here right now, the new element that we append is appended at the last position. Now what if we want to append that element at a particular desired position, if we want to append that element at a first position? And for that we have a method called insert. Let's remove this and say insert. So in this method we have a two argument. First one is at which position we want to add this element. We want to add this element at the 0th position, and what element we want to add. Say now we want to add again 88. See, the element 88 is inserted or added at the first position. Say here we are adding what? We are adding single element. Now if we want to add a multiple element, so first let's comment that out. Say we use extend. So we say list2 dot extend, and we will do what? So we want to add each of these elements in our list. So let's run it and let's print it. It's 2. See, the all element is being extended or added to our list. Now if we apply that very same thing using append function, let's see what happened. So run it and see, this whole list is treated as a single element, while in case of extend all the elements of this list are treated as a single element, but in case of append this whole list act as a single element. So that's the difference between append, extend, or insert. See, the way we append element, we can also do what? We can delete the element. So for that we have a method called delete, pop, or remove. Let's try out each one of them one by one. So let's remove that. For delete element we say del, and list2 we want to delete the element from list2 at which index position, and we specify the index let. We want to delete the element which present at index 0. So let's print the list2. See, the element at 0th index is what? Here it is high. So high is being deleted because we change that element from hello to high, then high becomes first element, and here the 0th element is deleted in our list. Similarly, if we want to delete a bunch of element from our list, we say we want to delete every element from 0 till the second, but excluding the second. So let's print it again. So every element from 0 to the second, but not including the second. So this way we delete. Now there is another method called remove. So for this method we say list2 and remove, and we want to remove what? In this we have to be specify the particular element that we want to remove. We want to remove suppose 6 from our list, and so we say specify 6 and print list2. Run. So the element 6 is removed from our list. So our list only have now 3 elements. Now there's one more method called pop, and through which we can also remove the values. And let's say, before let's comment that out, let's remove it. So list2 dot pop, and in this we have to be specify the index of that element. So we want to remove the 0th element again. So let's run it, and if you print this it's gonna specify that which element we're gonna remove from this list. So let's print it and run it. So it's gonna show that we're gonna remove high from our list. Now let's print the list2. So the high element is removed from this list. So this is how all these 3 methods work. So there is one more method through which we can reverse the whole string. So let's remove them out. We want our whole string will be reversed, and for that we have a method called reverse. So we say list2 dot reverse, and now print the list to enter. See, the whole, something is wrong, or oh sorry. So the whole list is reversed now. The first element become last and last element become first. So this way we can reverse this. Now in a list this could be happen that our list contains many similar elements. If we want to know how many of these present, and for that we have a function called count. So let me say we have a list 1, and in our list 1 we have a 2 6. So print list 1 dot count, we want the count of what element? 6. So 6, it's gonna print the number of element or 6 are present in our list. So let's run it, and this shows that 2. So there's a 2 6's are present in our list. Now if you want to arrange a whole list in a particular order, it could be ascending or it could be descending. So for that we have a method called sort, and this is called the sorting of index. So let's create a new list and say list 3, and we say it contains random elements like 34, and we want to sort this whole list in a sequence. And first let's arrange it in ascending order, then we're gonna arrange them in a descending order. So let's say list 3 dot sort. So and now print the list 3. So it's gonna arrange each of the element in an ascending order in our list as you see right now. And if we want to arrange that very particular list in a descending order, we say reverse is equals to true. See, the whole list is now arranged in a descending order. So this is how most of the features or methods of list are work. The next one is tuple. So tuple is similar to a list. The difference is that we cannot change the element of a tuple once it is assigned, whereas in list we can change them. And tuple is written in round bracket, whereas list is written in square bracket. So let's create our first tuple. So let's create a tuple. For that we create a variable called tup1 equivalent to, and for tuple we have to remember these round bracket, because whichever element we want in our tuple we'll put them within this round bracket. So basically this is an empty tuple. There's one more way to create an empty tuple. Say tup2 and tuple, and this way we create a empty tuple. So let's run each one of them. Say print tup1, print tup2, and run them. So both of these tuples are empty. Now let's create a tuple which contains most of the integers. So let's comment that out. Say tup1 equals to, and let's print this tuple tup1, run. So it says the tuple contain most of the integers, and there's one more way through which we can create that very similar tuple, and it's a pretty awkward and I don't like it by the way, but let me show you right now. Say let's tup2, and we can say whichever element we want in our tuple, we'll put them randomly, say like 5 6 7, and we can say hello, and this is a tuple. So let me print this. See, both of these are tuple, but the second one is a bit kind of awkward or weird way. So when you try to create a tuple with a single value, that one will be different one. So let's try to write down the tuple with a single value. So tup1 equivalent to, and we're gonna put a single value in this tuple, and we thought this is a tuple. So let's run it. See, it returns 1, so this is not a tuple. So for to create a tuple with single element, we have to be put what, comma after the element. So now let's run it, and now it is a tuple. That's a bit difference when you create a tuple of multiple values or single values. In single value you have to add a trailing comma. Let me remove all these, and now let's create a fresh tuple called tup1, and we're gonna put values. Now similar like list, we can also know the length of tuple using length function. So print length of tup1, run it. So the length of tuple is 4. So the way we do in list, that we are accessing the elements of a list, same thing is over here right now. We can also access the element of list that very similar way. So both are bit similar. That's why I had taught you list first then tuple. So let's say print tup1, and we want what, we want the sec element at a third index. Okay, let's run it. See, it prints 0. Let me comment that out and then run it. So it says the element at the third index is 0. Similarly, we want print element at the 0th index tup1, and say element at the 0th index is what, it run it. So it says element at 0th index is 2. So the way we printing the range in our list, that very similar way we can do over here right now. If you want a range from 0 to 3, we say colon 3 and run it. So it's gonna print every element from 0 till the 3, but excluding the 3. So third element is 0 over here, it excluded. Now next one is, we can change the element of list, but let's try to change the element of tuple, see what it throws. Let's say tup1, and we want to change the element at 0th index. Say tup1 and 0th, and right now it's an integer and we want to change it to a list. Say hello this. Okay, that's random element. So let's print tuple1 and see whether it is changed or not. See, it says that tuple object does not support item assignment. So this means that we cannot assigning a particular element to a different value once it is assigned. But this could be done if the element itself is a mutable. So every element over here is not mutable. So let's say tuple1 and the element that we want to change is third, and that third element is a list. So we want to change that second element of that list. So 0, 1, and we want to change that particular element from integer to a list. Say hello. Print the tuple and run it. See, it shows that the second element of that particular list within a tuple is changed. So it means that when an element itself is a mutable, it could be changed, but without that it can't be changed. So now let's create another tuple. Let's comment that out. Now let's create another tuple called tuple2 and say it's a tuple of string. Hi. Okay, two strings are present in this tuple. Now one thing is that we can perform concatenation of tuple, means we can add two tuple. So for that, let's say print tuple1 addition tuple2. The way we perform addition of two tuples, similarly we can add a list too, but we forget it over there. So as we discussed that the tuple element can't be changed. So means that we can't append or add an element to a tuple. If we can't append or add, then means that we can't even delete the element of tuple. But we can perform other methods, like we can find the index of an element in a tuple, or we can count the number of similar elements present in that tuple. So let's try to do that. So let's include few more similar elements in this tuple, and we say 4, 4, and 5, something like this. So now what we do? Now let's say print tuple1, print tuple1, and we want to count the number of times element 5 is present. So count 5 and run it. So it says that 5 is present in our tuple twice. Similarly, if we want to know the index of a particular element, so let's try to find the index of 0 in our tuple. Say print tuple1 dot index, and we want the index of 0. Wait a minute, let me comment that out, otherwise it will create some kind of confusion. Now let's run it. So the index of element 0 is 2. So this is how all the functionalities of tuple or methods of tuple work. And the next one in our collection data type is set. So set is basically an unordered collection of items, and there is no duplicity of items is allowed in a set, which means that every element within those curly braces is unique. So let's create a set, and before that let me remove that whole thing, say this. Now let's create a set, and for that we define a variable called set1 equivalent to this. Now if you think that it's an empty set because there is no element in it, so probably you're wrong. So let me comment out that. I'll tell you why it's not a set. So to create an empty set, we say set1 equivalent to set this. Now this is the right way to create an empty set. Let's print set1, run. So it says that this is the empty set. Now we create a set which contain mostly integer. Before that, let me comment it out as well. So let's say set1 equivalent to what? 1, 2. So many values. Now print this set and say set1, run it, and it shows that the values of in set are 3, 12, 5, 6, many more. Now similarly, like set is not only predefined or defined for integer, we can create a set of mixed data type. It could be a string, float, or integer. So let's create another set 2 which contain mixed data type. Comment that out. Set2 equivalent to say hello. Now run it. Set2. See, it prints the mixed set. So as in a definition, we said that set is an unordered collection of elements. So means that there's no indexing of element is done in set. So we can't access an element using its index. So let's try it right now. Say print set2. We want to know the element present at the second index or 0th index. Say this. And let's run it, and it's probably going to throw error. See, because there's no indexing is done for set. So let me comment that out. What we can add an element to a set. For that we have two functions available called add or update. And add is basically used for adding a single element, while update is used for adding a multiple element. So let me say set2 dot add, and we want to add what? We want to add, say hello. This is AI range. It's probably biggest string I want to add. Let's run it. Oh, wait a minute. Let me say print set2 run. So the element hello, this is which is added in a set. But see, this is added randomly, not at the last position randomly. Okay, let me run it once more. So it added at the last position before it added at the second last position. So it's random. It could be added to anywhere. Now let's add a multiple element in a set. For that, we say set2 dot update, and for that we want to add a bunch of element in our list, and let's print it and say print set2, and see all the elements are added in our list. But there's one thing is that when we adding the element, we include 2 6 in our list, while there's only 1 6 is added, because the uniqueness of set is always maintained. So set only contain the unique values. And similarly, we can remove our values from a set. So for that we have a two method called remove or discard, and each one have its own functionality. Let's try out each one of them. Say set 2 dot remove, and we want to remove what we want to remove, because there is no indexing is over here right now, so we can't provide the index. We have to be specify the element. So we want to remove hi. It set2 and run it. See, the element hi is removed from our list. Similarly, we have another method called discard. So let's run it and see, again hi is removed. But what's the difference between remove and discard? Because both are performing similar. So to understand the difference, let's try to remove an element that's not present in our set. Say print set2 dot remove. We want to remove a random element that's not present in our list, or sorry, set. Run it and it's gonna show error. See, it says 34 is not in the set. So similarly, if we try to do using discard, now it's not going to show some kind of error. That's a difference. So when we're using remove, it shows error. When we're using discard, it not shows error. So there's a one more method in set through which we can remove a random element out of our set. Say set2 dot pop, and it's gonna do what? It's gonna do remove a random element, because there is no indexing is done in set. So the element removed out of a set is random. So let's print it and set2, and the element is random. So any element is removed in our set. So let's comment that out. Now let's talk about some set operation. Set can be used to carry out mathematical set operation like union, intersection, difference, or many more. So first let's try to understand each of these operations one by one, and then we're going to perform using Python. Let's try to understand each of these four operations. The first one is A union B, second one is A intersection B, third one is set difference, fourth one is set symmetric difference. The first one is A union V. It's gonna do what? It's gonna include element of both set, but it's gonna include every element once in a set. Similarly, it's gonna include what? Each of the elements that are common in both of the set. So it called as the A intersection V. And similarly, third is it's gonna include those elements which are only present in A, not in V. So for that, we're gonna exclude all the elements of B. While in case of fourth, we want every element which are unique in A set and B set. We didn't want the element which are common among those two sets. So let's try out all these operations using Python. So before set operation, let's remove all these and we create two new fresh set, and we call set1 and set2 is equals to 3. They have two element common between these two sets, and next one is a string. And before set operation, let's print each of these set1, print set2, run them. Now let's try to perform operations. Like first one, let's try to perform union. So before that, let me comment that out. Print set1, and for union we're gonna use what? We're gonna use that vertical var operator, say set2, and let's print run them, and this is gonna create a new set which contain the element of set1 and set2. We can also perform this operation using union. Say print set1 dot union and set2, and let's run this. So similar like earlier one, this one to create a set. Now let's create an intersection of two sets. For that we say print set1 and print set2, and let's run it, and it print the common element between these two sets. And we can also perform this operation using intersection. So we say print set1 dot intersection set2, and let's run it. Similarly, it prints the common element between these two. Now let's create a difference of two sets. For that, we're gonna subtract the element of one set from another set. Say print set 1 subtraction set 2, and let's run it. It's gonna print that 6. Means that 6 is the only value that remain after subtracting all the element of set 2 from set 1, means 2 and 3. We can also create this using a difference operator. So we say print set, let's remove the element of set 1 from set 2 dot difference and set 2 and run it. So it's gonna print some, oh, this is set 1. So now the element is only hello. So all the elements of set 1 is removed from set 2. The remaining one is hello. So if you want to know the symmetric set difference, means the element which are only present in A and B, not in both. Print set 1 and we're gonna use caret character and set 2 and run it. It's gonna output the element that are present in both set but they are unique. At the end, let me explain a function through which we get to know about whether the variable is list, tuple, set, string or integer. You remember earlier we said that we can't create an empty set, and I told you that I'm gonna explain it. So let me explain it right now. So let's create a first set. So let's say set 1 equivalent to this. Print say type and say set 1, and let's run it, and it's gonna say that it's a dictionary. So that's why I'm saying that we can't create a empty set using that very particular way. So if we want to know, so let's create a list called list1 and say 1 2 random element, and we say print and type, and we want to know the type of this list1, and we know that it's a list, but let's try to run it using this function list1 and run it. So it says it's a list. Similarly, when we say it over an integer, so print type and 8, so it's gonna throw that it's an integer. So this is how a type function can be utilized when we are trying to get to know about a variable, whether it is a list or tuple or a set. So okay, we are almost done with the video. I hope you guys understood the basics of list, tuple or set. If you guys have any question, feel free to put them in the comment section. I try my best to answer them. Now if you like the video, hit the thumbs up and share it with your friends, and be sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon for future videos, and thanks for watching.